Hi, I am standing in the Barrow Cave Gallery at the Longview Museum of Fine Arts amidst a new exhibition that is only up till the end of June. This is called 24 Summers at Barton Springs. So because of COVID and the shutdown and the sheltering in place, as you can imagine, a lot of our museum exhibition schedules had to shift and move around. And so our museum found ourselves with 4 weeks where we were like, well, what are we going to put on the walls? And I've been wanting to have this show come up and hadn't had the opportunity. So this is 38 photographs that the museum acquired, I believe in 2017 through the Blanton Museum draft pick. And you might remember this story from the news back then. So the Austin Contemporary Museum decided to get out of the permanent collection business. Taking care of a permanent collection is a lot of work and can be expensive. And so they donated over 1,000 pieces to the Blanton. Well, the Blanton said, well, this is a lot, let's share it with Texas museums. So they invited 25 curators and directors to come down. 17 of us showed up, and our museum came away with 65 pieces. And so this is the first time these photographs have been on display, and we have paired it with our museum's beautiful sculpture. So it's a very minimalist, very summer, very clean feeling show. And so I hope you will come see it. A little history on, this is Will Van Overbeek. He's an Austin photographer. And the show got its inspiration in 1983. In 1983, Rolling Stone magazine approached many photographers and said, would you please take a picture of, or send us your photograph of what says summer? And the editor there suggested to Will that he photograph something at Barton Springs. And so that photograph was chosen. And then every year after that, Will has gone to Barton Springs and taken pictures, hence 24 Summers. So as you come around and look at the photography, you'll see this one was taken in 2006. This one was in 1999. Sometimes you can really tell from that 1980s bathing suit that it was taken in 1980. But I think you will enjoy this show, and it is only up till June 29th, so get down here quick. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Well, how did you decide to do the series 24 Barton Springs?
Back in 1984, the photo editor of Rolling Stone at the time, Lori Kratokville is her name, she asked a bunch of different photographers across the country to photograph what the beginning of summer looked like in their place. And she also suggested to me that Barton Springs might be a good place to take such a picture, and which is a great suggestion. And it was specifically a black and white assignment. So I shot a black and white photo, which you may have, for Rolling Stone, and in 1984. And then I was bitten by the bug, the Barton Springs bug, and I just challenged myself to take pictures there in color. And I had a waterproof camera, and then I would just go from time to time and take pictures and see what I could do, and see what was there, and using very much that spontaneous documentary style that I learned from my teacher, Gary Winogrand, at the university he taught. He was a crazy New Yorker, wonderful photographer who taught photography at UT. Just briefly, but I caught him. Awesome. I also got some mentoring from Russell Lee, a famous Texan who lived in Austin. This is back in the 70s, in 1980.
I love these three pictures right here with the water coming out of the, it's just.
They have these two little floating duck buoys to show you where you're not supposed to swim under the diving board. So I just swim right by the duck to get those pictures of the splash and the guy jumping in the water with my waterproof camera. If you were to look at them in sequence, you'd see first the guy jumping in the water and then the splash. And the splash is really funny because if you look at it very carefully, you can see little distorted images of the whole environment all around. It's really a lot of fun.
I love this photograph. I think the composition's really interesting, and it shows all those shapes and different things under the water.
Well, what I was trying to do with that one is just show just how clear the water is there. Yeah. But of course, the people make it happen.
Let's see. So, what would you say drives your work or inspires you? Was another question.
Oh, there's that question. Well, so photography, it's like magic. It's you take a picture and you never know what's going to come out. Especially the old days with film, but even with digital, you don't know what's going to happen or what you're going to capture. And then especially taking pictures of people. This applies to portraiture, but really any picture of people or animals, you somehow or other, there's this soul connection, for lack of a better term, maybe personality. But when you take a picture, if you look at an old picture of somebody you know really well and you go, that is just so them, even if it's a baby picture, you look at it and say, that is their personality all over. And it's in those old pictures, the old baby pictures of your brothers and sisters stuff, but it's still, you can totally pick up on their personality from those old pictures. And that somehow the camera just captures that magical essence of the person. And it's just, I've never grown tired of that. It's so much fun. And of course, I'm always looking for humor or absurdity, and there's a lot of it out there. So, it's always fun to, not to hit people over the head, but to find things that make you chuckle. And probably along those lines, I'm always wanting to photograph animals, dogs or donkeys or pigs. And because they just, of course, everybody feels good when they look at pictures of animals, I think, and they look at animals, and also they're just so absurd and funny. So that's kind of what it comes down to, exploring. And then there's just the like I say, the magic of taking a picture to see what will happen and what you get, because you never really know. Well, there's those bathing suits from the 80s.
Yeah.
At this particular time period there.
Yeah. It's so fun.
Those girls were really nice. I talked to them, before I took their picture, and they were sunbathing with their shorts over their faces because they didn't want to get a sunburn.
Right. That still happens today, too. This one cracks me up over here. This is the 80s suit that I totally recognize. I think I had some version of that.
It sure is. And there's a muscle man next door.
Yeah, the muscle man. Yeah, it's a very fun show. We've enjoyed it.
I just love the way you laid out the exhibit. It's beautiful. I could come there right now, but that's not in the cards.
No. Well, this has been so fun. It's such a pleasure to meet you, and